Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Syarifah Sandra Nirwana from 6D. Here I want to explain the current issue in psycholinguistics in my environment. The title is The Life of Deaf People atau penyandang tunarungu. Okay, for the first, deaf person who has a lack of loss of hearing ability do partial damage hearing instruments that have problem in language development. There is a tendency that a child who has often followed by a deaf mute. This condition seems difficult to avoid because the two series of cause and effect. This condition make it difficult communication with society. They use symbols to convey ideas and feeling with sign language and body language such that a mutual understanding. Thus, the deaf require special treatments to save good behavior, communicating with the environment and society relation. Okay, the next. According Santoso 2012, 5 until 7, deaf is someone who experiences a deficiency or loss of hearing ability caused by damage to some of his hearing aids so that he experiences obstacle in language development. The deaf children, different from normal children in general, they must understand the language spoken by other people. Due to the lack of proper hearing, children with hearing impairment turn their observation to the eyes. Though the eyes of a deaf children understand spoken or oral language. Besides seeing movement and expression, the face of the interlocutor, the eyes of a deaf children are also used to read body language because the body is a natural symbol. This condition can disturb the psychology that is mainly explained by the family environment, which can result in development of care for deaf children. Community response and reaction that differentiate themselves from their surroundings are also an obstacle to the development of children's social interaction. The next, the life pattern of deaf person begins with the acceptance of the parent toward the child condition. Some forms of deaf children behavior that are conspicuous compared to normal children in general. For the first, deaf children are more selfish, and the second, deaf children depend on others and are closer to what is already known. The third, deaf children paid more attention to the concentrate. The fourth, the attention of deaf children more difficult to be deferred, and the last have a greater fear of life. The next, some things that are often paid attention by families in carrying out the socialization approach with children are the first, responding to children appropriately and believing that we are responding to the children, not reacting. The second, involve themselves in child's life. The third, expression our assumption to children. And the last, as often as possible as what the child feels. Okay, the life of deaf children is certainly inseparable from the stigma that comes of society. Social stigma consider the existence of these deaf people as something troublesome. There are who consider their existence as a family disagree. to the point that the course of a scene will eventually corner the deaf from social interaction. People who are deaf are something they should feel sorry and help them. This is because there are people who are considered less capable and need help. There are also think that the deaf are people who are incredible and temperamental. Okay, the last is interaction patterns of the deaf people and community life. Deaf interaction made several adjustments to the way of interaction by combining existable visual form of communication such as finger and contact along with vocalization. Sometimes in interacting with the environment, the deaf people feel isolated from others. The community response was the deaf children have difficult interacting with their surrounding. Deaf children are introvert and don't talk too much. And then deaf people try to accept the problem by closing themselves and reducing the intensity of their social interaction with the community. Okay, that's all from me. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.